Most men don't realize they're losing testosterone until the damage is already done. Not because they ignored the signs, but because the signs never felt serious enough to panic over. You don't wake up broken. You wake up slightly more tired than yesterday, slightly less driven. Workouts feel heavier. Fat shows up where it never used to. Sleep stops restoring you. And eventually, someone tells you the same reassuring lie millions of men hear every year. This is just aging, but here's what almost no one explains. What's happening to testosterone today is not normal aging. It's suppression, and it's happening quietly, system by system, habit by habit. Here's the part that should stop you from clicking away. Most men experiencing this don't have low testosterone on paper. Their blood work often comes back normal. Doctors say everything looks fine, but nothing feels fine. Energy is off, motivation is flat, recovery is slower. That's because testosterone is not just about how much you have. It's about how well it functions inside a body that's under constant stress. And modern life is uniquely good at interfering with that function. Testosterone didn't suddenly become fragile. The male body didn't forget how to regulate hormones. What changed is the environment those hormones respond to. Testosterone is not produced randomly. It's produced in response to signals. Signals about sleep, stress, light, food, movement, safety. When those signals shift, testosterone shifts with them. Quietly, predictably, and usually downward. Most people think of testosterone as a muscle hormone or a sex hormone. That framing misses what's really at stake. Testosterone is a metabolic signal. It affects how efficiently your body uses energy, how resilient you feel under pressure, how quickly you recover, how deeply you sleep, and how motivated you feel to engage with life. It influences insulin sensitivity, red blood cell production, bone strength, cardiovascular function, and even emotional stability. This is why low testosterone almost never shows up as one dramatic symptom. It shows up as a pattern, a slow erosion of how capable you feel inside your own body. The body does not lower testosterone by accident. It lowers it when the environment signals instability. Testosterone production depends on three conditions being met at the same time. The brain must sense safety. The body must have enough energy and nutrients. And recovery must be possible. Modern life undermines all three. Sleep is shortened and fragmented. Stress is constant but subtle. Food is abundant but nutritionally shallow. Artificial light replaces natural rhythms. Movement is either absent or excessive. And hormone-disrupting chemicals are embedded into daily routines. Testosterone reads this environment and draws a simple conclusion. Now is not the time to invest in growth. Sleep is where the damage often starts. Testosterone is primarily produced during deep sleep, especially in the first half of the night. That means you cannot compensate for poor sleep with discipline, supplements, or willpower. Even a few nights of reduced or fragmented sleep can meaningfully suppress testosterone. And here's what most men miss. Sleeping 8 hours doesn't help if those hours are shallow. Late-night screens, artificial lighting, irregular schedules, alcohol before bed, all of these disrupt deep sleep. Many men are technically asleep, but hormonally they are under-recovered. Sleep is not downtime. It is hormone manufacturing. Stress makes the problem worse in a way that's easy to underestimate. Testosterone and cortisol operate in opposition. Cortisol helps you survive immediate threats. Testosterone supports long-term strength, repair, and confidence. When stress becomes chronic, cortisol stays elevated. And when cortisol stays elevated, testosterone production is dialed down. This doesn't require trauma or crisis. Modern stress feels ordinary. Notifications, deadlines, financial pressure, constant stimulation, excessive caffeine. The body doesn't distinguish between physical danger and psychological overload. It only reads threat. And when threat never turns off, testosterone never fully turns on. Exercise sends one of the clearest hormonal signals the body receives, but only when used correctly. Heavy resistance training tells the body that strength and muscle are required. That signal supports testosterone. But there is a tipping point most men cross without realizing it. Excessive endurance training, long sessions without recovery, and training while underfueled signal energy scarcity. Testosterone drops as a protective response. This is why more exercise can sometimes make hormones worse, not better. Testosterone rises when training is intense, purposeful, and paired with recovery. It falls when the body feels drained. Nutrition provides the raw materials testosterone is built from. Testosterone is synthesized from cholesterol, which means extremely low-fat diets quietly remove the building blocks hormone production depends on. Micronutrients matter just as much. Zinc and magnesium are directly involved in testosterone synthesis and signaling. Diets high in sugar, ultra-processed foods, and chronic calorie restriction send a message of instability. Food is not just calories, it's instruction, and when the instruction says chaos, testosterone responds accordingly. Body fat plays a more active role than most people realize. Fat tissue contains an enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen. As body fat increases, more testosterone is converted away. This creates a feedback loop. Lower testosterone makes fat gain easier. More fat accelerates testosterone loss. Over time, the hormonal environment shifts further from optimal. The good news is this process is reversible. Sustainable fat loss often leads to natural testosterone increases without direct hormone therapy. But extreme dieting backfires. Stability matters more than speed. Alcohol is one of the most socially accepted testosterone suppressors. It directly interferes with testosterone production, increases estrogen conversion, and disrupts the exact sleep phases where testosterone is made. Occasional use may not be catastrophic, but frequent use compounds quietly over time. Many men optimize workouts and diet while ignoring this one variable that undermines both. Light exposure shapes hormones more than most people think. Testosterone follows a circadian rhythm that depends on proper light signaling. Morning sunlight anchors this rhythm. Artificial light at night disrupts it. Screens, overhead lighting, and late-night scrolling delay melatonin and fragment sleep. Light is not just visual input, it's hormonal instruction. When circadian rhythms drift, testosterone production drifts with them. Environmental chemicals add another layer of interference. Plastics, pesticides, and certain personal care products contain compounds that mimic estrogen or disrupt hormone signaling. These exposures are rarely dramatic. They're cumulative, daily, low dose. Over years, they add noise to the hormonal system. Reducing exposure doesn't require perfection. It requires awareness and reduction where possible. Supplements are often sold as solutions, but they are not replacements for fundamentals. Zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D can help when deficiencies exist. They do not override poor sleep, chronic stress, or unstable nutrition. Supplements don't force testosterone higher. They remove friction. Without the foundation, they do very little. Here's the most important point. The body does not want low testosterone. Low testosterone is not failure. It is feedback. It is the body responding intelligently to the environment it's placed in. Change the environment, and the response changes. Not overnight, not dramatically, but consistently. The men who experience the biggest improvements are not chasing hacks. They're restoring conditions, better sleep, lower stress, purposeful movement, real food, fewer disruptors. When those signals return, testosterone often rises on its own, quietly, sustainably, and without force. This matters now more than ever. Testosterone levels today are lower than they were just decades ago, and nothing about male biology changed. Only the environment did. That means this isn't a personal failure, it's a modern one. Testosterone doesn't disappear randomly, it responds. And what it responds to is the life you live every single day. If you change the signals, the response changes. Quietly, predictably, reliably.